How's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about The Oval Portrait, which is based on Edgar Allan Poe's short story. The story starts off with a wounded narrator who tries to take shelter in a chateau. When he goes in there, he discovers a haunting portrait of a young woman. As he reads the story on the back of the painting, he learns that the woman was the artist's wife, who actually died as a result of her husband's obsessive dedication to capturing her image on canvas. Her husband was so obsessed with capturing the perfect image that he neglected his wife so much she ended up dying while he was painting her. If this isn't the biggest story of a neglectful husband, I don't know what is. The main characters in the movie The Oval Portrait are Rebecca, Lisa, Miss Warren, Joseph Hudson, the Major, and Miss Buckingham. There are other characters, but these ones just seem the most important to me. Miss Warren is my favorite character, and to me seems like the main character just because she is so powerful, and to me without her the story wouldn't fully come together. The painting is not just a tribute to her beauty, but it's a theft of her life. Her husband was so focused on the painting that she literally turned into one. Okay, not literally, but he neglected her so much that she passed away, and the only thing he has left of her is the painting. At the beginning of The Oval Portrait, we can already see Lisa is extremely uncomfortable in the home. She instantly doesn't even want to sleep in her own room as she asks her mother to sleep in her room with her. A bit later, we see her go downstairs. As she hears somebody playing the piano, she peeks in the room and sees the man who we later find out is talking to the corpse of Rebecca, who is the woman in the painting. This is a very, very big way to start the film. He is sitting there repeating to Rebecca how they were going to get married, and then he asks her what happened and continues to say what happened, and then he throws his wine glass. At the beginning, we don't know that she's dead, so we are just assuming she is ignoring him. So when we find out later that she is a corpse, it is even more terrifying. Lisa is reading the letter that she found that was to Rebecca about the painting. Then, when she's finished reading, she looks up and she sees the ghost of Rebecca, which puts her right into shock. This is a very strong scene because now we know Lisa knows the backstory behind the painting, and now she sees Rebecca, which means she knows the house is haunted. At the end of the film, we see Rebecca dancing with her husband. He picks her up, and at first she seems limp, like she's not alive. And then we get the illusion that she is alive. We see her back to her younger self, alive and well, smiling and dancing with her husband. As they continue to dance, though, she slowly deteriorates and becomes the skeleton that she is now. This closing scene kind of hints back to the part where we learn that her husband painted her while she continued to deteriorate and slowly die. They both compare to each other, and to me this is such a strong way to end the film so perfectly. The first thing I want to connect to The Oval Portrait is Anne Bradstreet's poetry, which is written during the Puritan era. This era was an era where women's voices were very, very strictly controlled, and they're really limited to what they were allowed to say, which is difficult for someone that's writing poetry like Anne Bradstreet. Just like in The Woman in the Oval Portrait, Bradstreet often sacrificed her personal fulfillment for her work, meaning she sacrificed her own personal joy to create work, to create her poetry. The next part that I want to connect to the Oval Portrait is the Age of Enlightenment. In the Age of Enlightenment, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the creator of the social contract in 1762, emphasized individual freedom. This was ironic because in the Age of Enlightenment, the people often thought women should be excluded from having their own visions. The Oval Portrait connects to this because the woman is denied her own freedom. She is locked into a role as a model for her husband. She does not get to have her own identity because she's ultimately used by her husband to create painting. The movie critiques the Age of Enlightenment ideal by exposing its gendered blind spots. This connects Poe's Gothic horror to broader Enlightenment era tensions between liberty and control. The Oval Portrait is more than just a ghost story. It's a story about a woman who is neglected by her terrible artistic husband, who cared more about his creations than he did about having a real connection with his wife. Imagine getting so caught up in work that you end up not even noticing your own wife is passing away right in front of you.